Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐂. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of 10:15 a.m. on Eastern Time on July 24th on Sunday. Hope you have a great weekend so far. Ethereum currently $1,583, up about 2.22% so far. Respect over crypto market on this Sunday morning so far, I would say collectively we're just rebounding from the respective support level of 1550. And across the market, I would say we're trading quite comparably, right? But look at the pre-market perspective across the equity side. I'm seeing that with respect to Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, all down respectively, approximately about 1.5% if you stretch it out on average. Basically, the market is anticipating some volatility ahead. Obviously, next week is going to be the last week of July, number one. And secondly, it's going to be a volatile week because of the FOMC meeting that's going to begin on the 26th and then the 27th, right? And the typical affectation based on our collective observation and wisdom in the past is that we should anticipate some sort of buying or selling pressure ahead. And based on what I see so far on a pre-market perspective, again, right, Monday will give us a good depiction. Is that consumers or retail investors and even corporate customers and investors at the moment right now are depicting that we should ideally be selling off until the confirmatory signal on Wednesday. So that's something that is what the market is telling us right now, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to be. But collectively, based on all the chronological factors that have been identifying so far, right? If you just keep tracks, right? First one was the CPI report that came out basically 1 week ago. It was negative, right? Obviously, it drove some fear mongering, and subsequent to that, we saw some surprising earnings coming out from banks, right? From Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, both reported positive earnings, beating Wall Street expectation. But if you look really closely in terms of why is driving it up, is because a lot of bad debts that has been occurring, right? A lot of corporate companies are reluctant to be borrowing debts to keep them basically their roof over their heads and not go belly flopped. But is that a good reason for the banks to be making good money? Right? It's not. It just indicate that there's the economy is unhealthy right now. And then subsequent to that, obviously we saw like a bunch of different earnings, both on the consumer side and on the mega tech side. You saw Netflix rebounded, but because they just meet expectations, just good enough. But if you look at the technical, you could see that they were basically on the verge of rebounding, and the fundamental of the business. The valuation was so low that it no longer makes sense that the market had to kick in and subsequently buy it, right? And then we saw a positive earnings from Tesla, but with their negative foreshadow on the supply chain issues going forward, and some of the supply chain hiccups on an operational front that they foresee with their, shortage of the not shortage, but they're gonna mitigate their workforce going forward by 20% because to hedge against the inflationary pressure. So we had like a slight surge, right, up about 5%, and then a slight dip afterwards. So it's like more of just like ups and downs, and a lot of just like normalization from there at the respective levels. And I'm looking at some of the news that is more on the recent front. I would say in the last 48 hours, it seems like the topic of monkeypox. It was more like a secondary or ancillary type of affectation in the past, but it seems like it's spreading quite rapidly based on the news front, right? It seems like there's some sort of emergency global health awareness that's going on right now. Seems like they are initializing some sort of a protocol, so something to look out for. It seems like with respect to these like pandemic or just these health scares, it's like we cannot really get a break. Like it's just like a wild west out there, which I can understand why it can be quite frustrating, and it can cause some fatigue from there. And then some news I'm seeing is quite counterintuitive. It seems like Joe Biden likely has BA.5 variant, but the COVID-19 symptoms continue to improve. I don't know what that means. It's just like, it seems like just news for the sake of news right now. And that's pretty much it. So let's just dive right into technical. I mean, everything that we've been talking about has not really changed so far. It seems like it's still aligned, right? With respect to the technical front, let me know if just checking the screen. Yeah, you guys can see it. It seems like we're just like plateauing at the 1550. Makes sense. But right now you could see that we're just kind of looking for some sort of inertia to push up or push down. But just know the fact that let's just do the check off the list type of objective. You could see that we are kind of consolidated at 1550. We have a relatively sizable leap up to go up to the next level of like basically 1700 and then to 1850. Do you think we have a shot of doing that, knowing the fact that on the MACD front we have stretched up for quite some time? At the same time, we're at 67 out of 70. So that's pretty much overbought, right? At the same time, with respect to the catalyst of Tuesday, Wednesday, or even Monday, if you could think about that in anticipatory pressure ahead of time, I'm not sure if we can actually have a strong likelihood of actually continue to surge up from here, right? I think the likelihood of actually seeing some short-term correction makes a lot more sense than pumping from here, right? It's just what the technical says. I'm not saying what Jerome Powell is going to be saying later has anything to do with technicals. I'm just saying that the technical has a higher likelihood of going back down in the near term than going up. But the technical on a weekly and a monthly is showing quite bullishness, right? You could see that we're about to cross up. We are 40 out of 70, so there's still some room to go up to. So as we get over the hump, like I'm saying weeks out, right, which makes sense after the FOMC meeting, and we have like this one and a half month gap and all the way until the next one in September, that on weekly and monthly look quite bullish. So I do quite like it. You could see that the buying pressure is already starting to begin up 4% so far. So it seems like the market is again quite mixed bag, right? But we'll have to see how Monday will open up, which gives us the momentum of how we're gonna be shifting up until Tuesday and Wednesday, right? And then Bitcoin, you can see that clearly we're quite bullish as well on the monthly, weekly, about to fuse together, so that's great. Daily, it looks a little bit, funky, right? Again, you have to stretch up for quite some time. You need to kind of look for a way back down, right? So, and I would say the level down would be 21,500 all the way down to like 19,500 from here. And across the spectrum, I would say on the daily for a lot of the respective smaller coins, they all trade on the same fashion, right? Some are a lot more severe than other. Like for example, like Polkadot's like up 70 out of 70, very stretch up. This is like, oh, hold on, I'm looking at the one. Yeah, it's still comparable, right? 52 out of 70. So next level up is gonna be 60. And the support that we have right now is relatively weak, but with respect to the weekly and monthly, about to form a golden cross, and the monthly, yeah, I would say monthly and weekly are still similar, right? And then look at other ones. I know MATIC has recently had a surge, if I'm not mistaken. No, not MATIC. Yeah, I forget which one else. Someone was like pointing out that was like a huge volatility that happened last 24 hours ago. But anyways, but yeah, I would say across the spectrum again, short term is still relatively bearish, but long term wise, and I'm talking about not like super long out, but like weeks and months out, we should ideally see some like healthy buying pressure ahead of time. Okay. Well, hopefully this is helpful. Have a great Sunday. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. It's definitely very hot in New York City. But yeah, take care of yourself. And I appreciate you. And I will check you guys on the next one. Take care.